This is the worst possible time to retire. Inflation is going through the roof and the stock market is crashing. But today, I'm going to show you how to successfully retire at any time so that you can create generational wealth for you and your family. All I need you to do is smash that like button. Shout out to all of you guys that have checked out the 3 Keys to Financial Freedom Masterclass. This is a free walkthrough where I show you guys how to stop trading time for money. If you hate your jobs, you need to watch this webinar because in it, I show you how I retired from corporate America at 26 and how I went on to become an entrepreneur and best-selling author. I'm going to put the link in the comments below. Make sure that y'all check that out. If you're ready to create generational wealth, now is the time. The average millionaire has over 7 different streams of income. If you're like most people, you only have one stream. If you're trying to learn the secrets of the wealthy, you need to watch the webinar because I break it down step by step how you can get to the next level. All right. So make sure that you click that link below and check it out. Shout out to everybody that's on right now. Make sure that you leave a comment with your name and where you're from, and I'll give you a shout out and show you a lot of love. Okay. I already see Aaron is in the house. I already see you got your seat ready, King. Shout out to you. For everybody else that's on, please make sure that you smash this like button. Make sure that you share this on your social media channels because this is going to be very important. Like most things, I don't think that most people realize how much of a problem retirement is going to be. But if you look at the retirement community now, you will notice a lot of people are having to work longer in age. When you look at a lot of people that are senior citizens right now, a lot of them are having to go back to work. Today, I'm going to show you why this year is the worst time to retire, but how you can overcome it by setting up new streams of income to create your retirement without Social Security. Okay. So, for those of you guys that are serious about creating generational wealth and starting your own companies, I will allow you to feature your business on this channel for free. That's right. I am so serious about you guys getting invested in your success that all you need to do is let me know what you're doing in your business, and I will promote your business on my channel for free. All you got to do is leave me a comment. And as always, y'all know a show ain't a show without the sponsors. So let me give a big shout out to all of my sponsors. I want to give a big shout out to Yasha Allah. I want to give a big shout out to an anonymous sponsor who was the official sponsor of yesterday's podcast. I know that I put Yasha Allah out there, but sometimes y'all will send me cash apps on the low that will actually be more than what I will receive through the super chat. So I'm still going to acknowledge you. I'm not going to put your name out there to honor your wishes. I definitely appreciate all of the love and support. And thank you guys so much for keeping this channel going. Now, you may be asking, what is a sponsor? A sponsor is someone that donates to this channel to keep this content on air. As many of you know, I'm a real estate investor, a best-selling author, an entrepreneur, the leader of a church. It takes a lot of time and energy for me to make these podcasts. It's not always the easiest for me to do. So, in order for me to reinvest my time into this channel, I need you guys to support the movement. I'm on a mission to help as many of us succeed as we can. So, guys, if you love this content and you get a lot of value from these podcasts, please do me a favor and donate to the channel. All you got to do is tap that dollar icon directly below, and whoever is the highest sponsor of tonight will be the official sponsor of the broadcast. So, guys, let's get into it. We've been through enough house rules. Why 2022 is the worst time to retire. Now, I know some of y'all are on there and you're listening to this podcast and you're like, but Uzziah, I'm not even planning on retiring. Why should I watch this video? If you're thinking that thought in your mind right now, you're the number one person that should be watching this video, because retirement means you need to be planning early. When you think about retirement, what does that mean to you? Do you think about somebody that's in their 60s and 70s? Or do you think about somebody who no longer wants to work? I want you guys to leave me a comment below, and I want you to tell me what retirement means in your mind. I want you to tell me your retirement goals. Some of you guys may not have any goals around retirement at all. And for some, that's a problem, because you don't want to work yourself into the ground all your life. But some of you may be the lucky ones in the 1% of people who do their passion for a living, and you never want to let it go. Unless you're one of those people, you need to have a retirement plan. That's what we're going to talk about. So, guys, let's jump into it. I'm going to share with you guys the first article. Why 2022 is such a dangerous year to retire. Why 2022 has been a dangerous time to retire and what you can do about it. It says stocks and bonds are down and inflation is high and rare. It's a combination for new retirees. Sequence of returns, risk. I ain't even going to get into all of this mumbo jumbo, y'all. Y'all know we don't go into all of the points from all the articles. I'm just giving you guys the high points and hoping that you get something from it. Notice this third point. There are ways to manage the risk while giving investments time to recover. What does this mean for you? It's a scary time for new retirees. Stocks have plunged this year. Bonds, which traditionally served as a ballast when stocks falter, have also pummeled. Now, guys, I know y'all aren't financial analysts out there, so I want to give you what this means in layman's terms. In the stock market, you can buy stocks and bonds. Stocks is typically whenever you take ownership of a share of a company. Bonds are created to give you a little bit more protection for your money. You know how they got a saying in the hood, my word is bond? They say that because a bond is something that you can deliver. When you put your investment into a bond, it's typically supposed to give you a sense of security. But now economists show not only are stocks pummeling, bonds are also going down as well. The very things that you always thought would give you a sense of security is also creating lots of risk. This is why this is the worst time to retire. Listen, guys, as people get older, if they have a good financial plan, they're going to pull some of their money out of stocks and put it into bonds. Stocks are usually more risky, which means that you could lose a lot more money once you're at your retirement age. As people get older, they will usually shift some of their money from the stocks into bonds, so that way it lowers risk. See, with stocks, it's high risk, high reward. Bonds, it's low risk, low reward. So you can put your money in it and it'll grow a little bit. But bonds are typically for people that are not looking to make a killing and they already have a lot of money. They're just trying to park it somewhere safe. You've got to know the difference between the two. But stocks have plunged this year along with bonds. And it says both trends are worrisome for seniors who rely on investments for their retirement income. Now, I'm going to give you all a little bit of game as I always do. For those of you that are watching this in your 20s and 30s, you don't need to go big on bonds. Now is your time really to start investing in stocks. But the older you get, the more bonds matter. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have any bonds at all. What I'm saying is you need to focus on the percentage of how much you put into each investment. When you speak to any financial analyst, one of the biggest things that they will tell you is that the key to being a wise investor is asset allocation. Asset allocation means you don't put all of your eggs in one basket. You put a little bit of money here and a little bit of money there so that you could give yourself enough protection to weather the storm. High inflation also means retirees need to draw more income to afford the same items and make ends meet. So, guys, inflation is going through the roof. Stocks and bonds are crashing. All signs lead to right now not being a good time to retire. And see, this is another one of those things that most people take for granted. You don't realize how much money you need to have to retire right now. You don't realize how much money you will really need in order to live comfortably throughout your retirement years. Most people think Social Security and a 401k got them covered. But there's a reason why so many older people are working very hard. There's a reason why when you go into Walmart, when you go into these retail stores, you're going to start seeing more and more senior citizens having these jobs, not because they just love working at Walmart, but they can't afford to retire. They cannot afford the cost of living. Even with Social Security, even with disability for some, unfortunately, there's not enough money in order to sustain this high cost of living. The reason why there's not enough is because of inflation. That's a pretty bad combination that's relatively rare. David Blanchett, head of retirement research at PGIM, the investment management arm of Prudent Financial, said of this three-pronged challenge. Now, guys, this is the reason why this channel exists. Because when you read an article like this, they give you so much fluff that you can't even make sense of what it's saying. My job is to come back to our community and culture and decode what these retirement research analysts are saying. We're reading from the investment management arm of Prudent Financial, a multi-billion-dollar company. But a lot of times, these financial guys, they put it in complicated words so that they can go over people's head. If you watched my show yesterday, I showed you that this system is not built for everybody to be rich. So there's a reason why they play this game. I'm here to show you that if you're thinking about retiring, 2022 is a dangerous time to retire. However, there are steps retirees and those planning to retire soon can take to protect their nest egg. Now, I'm not going to go through the rest of this boring article. I'm going to give you a step-by-step breakdown on how to retire successfully. And it's not going to be based upon just basic tips. That's the reason why so many people are struggling now. Look at what Ariel said. I want to be able to retire to live a comfortable life with the family and still be able to travel, donate, and invest, all without worry. Man, that's really good. The current economy makes that difficult, though. How many of y'all feel the exact same way? How many of y'all feel like you've got all these goals that you want to accomplish, but because of how hard this economy is on our pockets, you don't see how you can do anything outside of pay your bills? A lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and we're not able to accomplish certain goals. So as we go through this podcast, we're asking the question, what does retirement mean to you? Guys, I need y'all on this. Y'all know I don't like no silent energy. Let's get involved. Let's comment. Let's wake up and let's talk about how to have a successful retirement. A lot of y'all are out there wanting to retire in your 20s and 30s. If this is you, I'm talking to you. Some of y'all are in your 40s and you're looking to retire. In today's video, I'm going to show you how that's possible. All I need y'all to do is smash that like button. And if you guys are really appreciating the value that's coming out, make sure that you donate. Okay. So again, let's go back to these articles. The first thing that we looked at in this first article is that 2022 is a dangerous time to retire because of inflation, the stock market, bonds, all these crazy things are happening. But let me give you guys basic financial sense on why you cannot retire during these times. The reason why most people cannot retire is because retirement cannot come only from the stock market. So many people throughout the world are told, get a good job, take a portion of your income and put it towards your 401k. Once you become a senior citizen, your 401k and your Social Security will take care of you. That is a myth. This is the reason why you see so many people having worked good jobs for 30, 40 years, still working today. Guys, I got family members who are making six-figure jobs that still have to work. The cost of living is getting so high, but the financial education is so low. Guys, the same people that told you all you need to do to retire is invest in your 401k is the same people that told you go to school, get good grades so you can get a good job, and then you'll be set for life. Are you sure you want to listen to them when you try to figure out how to build wealth in America? I think not. The masses have been programmed to learn one thing. The wealthy and the rich, they go by something completely different. How many times do you hear Warren Buffett get on an interview and say, the key to my success is investing in my 401k? How many times do you hear Bill Gates or Elon Musk during an interview say, y'all want to know what the key to my success is? The reason I'm so rich is because I took 14% of all of my paychecks and I put it towards a Roth IRA. These retirement accounts, they're just so great. And that's the reason why I'm the richest man in the world. When you see the richest people in society speak, they never tell you the things that's told to you. They're not sold the same bill of goods as the status quo. So why is it that we're the ones that's told, go to school, make good grades, get a good job, buy a nice house, buy a nice car, do your 401k? But yet, when you look at some of the wealthiest people that ever lived, some of them dropped out of school altogether, don't even have a college degree. Many of them didn't get their riches from working at a 9-to-5 job, much less saving into a savings account. Why is it that everything that we've been taught by our family members about how to make money is contrary to how the top dogs really did it? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to distinguish what society says from what really works. And you can't go off of your college professor. You have to go off of people that have really done it. Guys, when I speak to you, I'm speaking to you as a person that owns over $1 million worth of real estate in my 30s. I'm talking something that I live. This is not something that I've read in a textbook. I've watched myself up against so many peers that I've gone to school with that were smarter than me. But the differences that I'm going over in tonight's podcast is the reason why I've retired at 26 from corporate America, making good money versus everyone else that's still living paycheck to paycheck. You must understand the principles of financial freedom. Retirement can't just come from the stock market, because when you follow that advice, watch what happens. You put all of your money into a Roth or a 401k. And then by the end of your working years, what happens if the stock market crash? What happens if there's a crash in the stock market and all of your retirement money is gone? I mean, look at how many times this has happened. Look at what happened in 2008. Look at what's happening now. And every time you'll see there's always a group of people in their 50s and 60s saying, man, I was planning on retiring next year, but because I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, retirement is no longer in the plans. Am I telling you not to retire? Am I telling you not to invest in the stock market? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a way that you go about structuring your life to where a 401k and an IRA is just an added benefit. It is a bonus. It is not the end all be all to your retirement. But that's what so many people are going through today. They have not been taught how to properly plan for retirement. And that's the reason why all they have is money that's sitting up in the stock market, dropping week after week. And now people are ready to get rid of themselves. I'm trying to save you from this happening, guys. I need y'all to tune in. You don't wait until you're ready to retire to start planning for your retirement. Society is so expensive. I don't care if you're a kid. You need to be thinking that far into the future. And one of the reasons why society, as well as our parents, failed is because they were not teaching us about money at a younger age. We had to wait until we became an adult, already loaded with debt, to then try to figure out how to manage money. By the time that you're loaded in debt managing money, it's too late. You got to already know how the game is played. Retirement cannot come from the stock market alone, because when you put all of your money in there, who's to say that you won't retire during the time of a crash? Also, you cannot retire through saving. Nobody gets rich off of saving money. You can't just save. Here's how a lot of other people are getting jacked up. A lot of people have been saving for big things. Some people have been saving for a house. Some people have been saving for their retirement. I know people that have been saving since 2016 for a nice place. But you know what the problem is? When you started looking at the prices in 2016 and started saving your money, you didn't account for how high the cost of living would be 6 years later. So the very thing that you were putting money towards saving, it could be 3 times as much from the time that you started. So now you are not in position to get what you want. Guys, I'm so passionate about this because this dictates your quality of life. My father worked up until 65 years old, always telling me, son, once I hit 65, that's when I'm going to retire. But dad, I got a place for you now, man. I got a place for you to stay. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to pay me no rent. But son, I got to wait until my retirement. I'm going to hold on a little bit longer. I'm going to save me a little bit more money. I want to get this Social Security check. Once it's 65, son, I'm out. You know what happened when my father turned 65? He passed away. 2 weeks after his 65th birthday, he passed away at 8:55 in the morning in the hallway going to work. That's the number one time that people die in America. They die at that time usually because the stress of being at a job that they hate for so long weighs on their body to such an extent that they have a heart attack. And that's exactly how my father passed. So this might just be dollars and cents to you, but I've actually seen people's lives be damaged as a part of this. When you buy into the retirement myth, you can literally sabotage your life. That's the reason why I'm trying to help you guys understand how real retirement happens. It doesn't happen just from the stock market. It doesn't happen through saving. You have to have a serious plan. And that's what we're going to go over tonight. All I ask y'all to do is smash that like button. And if you're really enjoying this thing, feel free to donate. Let me check out these comments. Okay. Kingdom for You Design said, to be honest, I have not thought about my retirement plan yet. Now is the time, Kingdom for You. I know I do want financial freedom. That's good. I want to be able to go on vacation and still make money and really enjoy my family, etc. Hey, that's what this is all about. Guys, what we're doing here at the Generational Wealth Podcast is we're showing people how to turn their dreams into a reality. This podcast is not about being the richest person in the world, just to front. It's so that you can have the financial freedom to do the things that you want to do when you want to do it. We don't know how long we're going to live. So some of you guys are thinking about retirement in your 60s, but what if you don't live to see 60 years old? That could happen, guys. God forbid. I'm not saying this to be morbid, but what I'm saying is there are so many people in America that will give themselves a crappy life, always chasing a mirage that, man, when I'm 65, this will all make sense. But you shouldn't wait until you're 65 years old to start enjoying life. When I make certain moves, I do it with the intent to enjoy my life now. I don't want to live in my dream house when I'm 65. I want to live in my dream house when I'm 35. So that way I can enjoy it. When I say enjoy it, it's no knock on my folks that are older, because y'all will see Yasha Allah be on here. He'll be out working the rest of us. He's full of life and full of energy. Everybody is not Yasha Allah. What I'm saying is, even for those who are more senior in age, I'm sure they would be the main ones to tell you that the younger you are, the better position you would be in to enjoy certain royalties of life if money wasn't an issue, while you're still able to rip and run with full health, when you still have enough energy and passion to travel the world. Okay. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could do it now and when you get older? That is the goal. It's not one or the other. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you should build your life to where what you want to do is possible within that moment. But in order for you to accomplish that, guys, you've got to know how to play this game. Society doesn't teach this to you because they want you to be the workers of their corporations. If everybody had the knowledge that I'm giving you right now, there could be enough people that would make a change to where there would be job shortages across major companies. They need somebody to be the wage slave. Now, let's talk about this. Why 2022 is the worst time to retire. We talked about inflation. We talked about stocks. We talked about bonds. I want you guys to realize that 1.5 million retirees returned back to the workforce last year. 1.5 million retirees returned back to work last year. Guys, I was watching an interview a little bit earlier of this one sister who was talking about how she retired almost 20 years ago. And life is so expensive, she cannot afford basic groceries. She's now filling out a resume for the first time in over 25 years. She was talking about how afraid she is because she doesn't even use the language now, like the same language that she used back in the day to get a job. There's totally different lingo now. And so this is becoming a real problem. And just in case y'all don't think it's a problem, I got something for you. I'm going to show all of you youngins out there like me that this retirement issue is a problem for us, not just for folks that are older. This is something that hits directly home. Watch this. This was an article that came out by NerdWallet in 2015. NerdWallet's 2015 new grad retirement report. Guys, watch this. Y'all might need to medicate yourselves after this because this could hurt a little bit. Here are the key findings. NerdWallet's analysis finds the class of 2015 faces a retirement age pushed back to 75, 2 years later than what the class of 2013 could expect. Guys, I'm going to remind you, this is 2022. All the way back in 2015, NerdWallet was showing that people that graduated from college in the year 25 had to work to 75 years old on average in order to afford retirement. What does that mean for you? How many of us here, just by a show of hands, i.e., leave a comment, how many of us here want to have to work until 75? How many of us want to have to get up at the top of the morning to work at a job we really don't like just to make ends meet? I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that now, much less when I'm 75. This is why retirement is important. NerdWallet's analyst finds the class of 2015 faces a retirement age pushed back to 75, 2 years later than what the class of 2013 could expect. So, guys, if the class of 2015 has to put in 2 more years than the class of 2013 before they can retire, how many more years will the class of 22 have to put in? That basically means you're going to be working your entire life. If you go to college right now, this shows there is no retirement in sight for you if you're following the traditional model. If you are still stuck in the fantasy world of go to college for 4 years, rack up tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, get a job, or better yet, keep going to school, rack up more debt, and somehow it will all make sense. If you are still under that spell because it's not something that benefits most people, you're going to find yourself working for the rest of your life. And I know, who wants to watch a video about retirement at 7:30 Central Time? Wouldn't it be so much better to watch a cat video? That would give us our heart's desire. Well, if you find yourself at 80 years old and you still having to work, hey, shame on you. Just know, way back when, the video was here to show you how to escape. NerdWallet's analysis finds the class of 2015 faces a retirement age pushed back to 75, 2 years later than what the class of 2013 could expect because of increasing student loan debt, rising rents, and millennials' approach to money management. In other words, YOLO life. But it's not all doom and gloom. We show you how taking key steps now can bring retirement years earlier. That's the key, guys. The one thing that you notice from all of these articles is that the economists tell you that you are on a track to retire at a very elderly age. But there's ways that you can cut that if you follow the right steps. So now it talks about it. One of the reasons why retirement is going to be hard is because of high student loan debt. Student debt can end up costing college graduates $684,000 in lost retirement savings over a 50-year period. For all of you guys that talk about keeping Sally Mae around for the rest of your life, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Keeping student loans for the rest of your life is a dumb idea because the money that you will pay Sally Mae over time could have very easily funded your retirement. The money that you have to put down every month to pay on a student loan, that could very easily make you a millionaire by the time that you get to so-called retirement age. But we're so careless about how we spend our money that we don't see how it all adds up. We got high student loan debt, we've got high rents, and we've also got a lot of people that are getting out of the stock market. Millennials tend to distrust the stock market, but it's the most productive way to build a retirement nest egg. Now, guys, this is one of the things that I'm challenging during this show. I'm showing you what it says, but I'm challenging it because I want you to find the balance. More millionaires have been made in the stock market than any other industry. A lot of people don't know that. But see, the problem is, are you looking to the stock market alone? You could be one of the people that when you were in your 20s, you started investing into a Roth IRA or a 401k, and that's good. But if the stock market is your only option, that means that the stock market controls your fate. If the market goes down before your retirement, you've got to live with those results. It may mean that you have to work years longer. You can still build a next nest egg because of the compound interest, but some of your earnings may be reduced over time. Still a big fan of the stock market, but we need to get understanding. We need to understand that any one thing can be dangerous if it's not balanced with other streams. That's why the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. They are not looking to any one thing to fund their retirement. Okay, so look at this. It says new grads won't be able to retire until 75, study finds. Rising rents and increasing student loan debt have pushed the retirement age to 75 for college graduates, according to a new NerdWallet study. That's an increase from NerdWallet's last analysis, which used 2012 data, that was 10 years ago, and predicted an average retirement age of 73 for the class of 2013. Guys, 10 years ago, they were telling people recent college grads are not going to be retired until 73 years old. Who wants to bet that that age is pushed back later in 2022? Who wants to bet that people would have to work longer than the class of 2013 will due to the rise of inflation? Compared to the current average retirement age of 62, this goes to show you how dated this is. The average retirement age at the time that this was written was 62 years old. How many 62-year-olds do you know right now that are planning on working for the next 3 or more years? This is becoming a norm. But compared to the average retirement age of 62 at that time, today's college graduates will work 13 years longer. And with an average life expectancy of 84, they'll only spend 9 years in retirement. This is why it's a problem. Why would you buy into a model that tells you to work at a crap job for most of your life only to retire and have 9 possible years to enjoy it? That is a stupid trade. Guys, look at this. The average life expectancy is 84 years old at the time that this was written. A lot of studies are now showing the life expectancy going to 90. If you live to age 84, do you really want to work 75 years before you can start enjoying your life? You want to work 75 years before you can vacation on a regular basis? You want to work 75 years until you can actually be a blessing to your family and friends? Come on, man. We've got to wake up. Now, the sad reality is a lot of people are going to live by this. They're going to eat it up. They're not going to seek out solutions to do better. But for each of you guys that are on this podcast, love yourself enough, man, to do a better way. Nobody wants to wait until retirement when retirement is not even promised. Tomorrow is not promised, much less you living until 75. It says NerdWallet's research is based on a 23-year-old new graduate earning the current median salary of $45,000. Okay. So again, this is just more data and statistics that's out there showing where the economy is going. This is all very important. Okay. Make sure that y'all smash that like button. Let's get these likes up real quick, y'all. All right. Let me refresh my screen. So I got a post on what's going on in this room. Let's get these likes up. Why 2022 is the worst time to retire. This is something that everybody should know. And it's unfortunate that in this title, people will probably look at it and say, oh, well, I wasn't planning on retiring anyway. I'm going to skip this one. But this could be the one video that could change your life. Another thing that Dun just said, which was very powerful, is there won't be any more Social Security real soon. That's a fact. How many of y'all truly think that Social Security will still be around by the time you reach retirement age if you're 20, 30, even 40 years old? If you are in those age ranges and you are praying for Social Security, you got another thing coming. So many of us do not have a plan. We're just hoping that the government will bail us out. But that's not been successful even for the people that are at retirement age now. What makes you think that the government is going to save you once you reach your retirement age? Things will only be more expensive. The Social Security probably won't even be around anymore. Look at how much money the government is in debt right now. These are all things that you guys need to know, okay? So let's talk about this. The real question is, guys, how much money will you need to retire? That's one thing I want us to discuss. I want you guys to see how there's a certain amount of money that you're going to need in order to retire comfortably. And it's a lot more money than most would expect. Here we go. Why $1 million may not be enough to retire comfortably. Now, think about this. The average person will not have $1 million saved in their retirement account. Most people will probably only retire with tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars at best. Here, the Motley Fool article is showing why $1 million may not be enough to retire comfortably. I'm going to go just to a few key points. It says your current income will guide your savings goals. There is no universally accepted number for how much someone will need to save for retirement. Many factors will determine that, including lifestyle, location, age, and the various income sources someone has. While there may not be a set figure, conventional wisdom tells us that $1 million may not be enough for some people to retire comfortably. Here's why. And it's going to break this down. Now, I know a lot of y'all are out there are like, oh man, surely I could live off of $1 million. All these people that are saying that it's not enough, they're all money grubbers. They all just want to be rich. They don't know how to survive. Watch the article. The 80% rule is good to follow when figuring out the annual income you'll need in retirement. It states you should aim to have 80% of your pre-retirement annual income to maintain your current lifestyle in retirement. Here's what applying the 80% rule would look like at different income levels. So now it breaks it down. It says if you make this amount of money before your retirement, this is while you're still working, this is the amount of money that you would want to live off of during retirement. So if you worked and made $50,000 a year, when you retire, you will want to use $40,000 a year. If you made $80,000 a year, you'll want to live off of 64. We got to think about this when it comes to our retirement, because let's imagine you saved up $1 million, making $80,000 annually. If you follow the 80% rule, meaning you'd want $64,000 to live off of annually in retirement, and your savings didn't generate any income, it would only last you just over 15 years. Guys, that's a problem. The reason why it's a problem is because the average age expectancy for someone's life right now is 90 years old. So if you retire in your early 60s, you need to be prepared for your retirement money to last you the next 30 years. If you invest up to $1 million, that's only going to last you 15 years if you want to spend $64,000 per year. Guys, some of y'all think you don't need that much money. You're not accounting for tomorrow's cost. You're not thinking about tomorrow's dollars, only today. If gas prices are high as hell in 2022, how high is it going to be in 30, 40 years from now when you reach retirement? These are things that you gotta consider. So none of us should look and be like, oh man, you know what? I'd be set on this amount. No, because you don't know how expensive life is going to become. Most people can barely survive today, much less where inflation is going to take us in a few decades from now. Okay, here's another piece. It's even worse if you earned more. $1 million in savings would only last someone making $150,000 just over 8 years. All of my six-figure earners that are out there, you need more than $1 million to retire through this model, because you maintaining your current lifestyle won't be manageable for long. If you make $150,000 a year, you're only going to be able to use $1 million in savings for 8 years. So now it breaks down a chart on how much money you would be having at every pre-retirement annual income and how long your money would last, okay, if that money isn't continually being invested. Now, guys, without going into too much detail on this, I'm going to close this part right at this 4% rule. Basically, what the 4% rule is, it focuses on how long your savings may last. Okay. The 4% rule states retirees should plan to withdraw 4% of their retirement savings every year for 30 years. Guys, what this means in layman's terms is whatever amount of money that you have in your retirement account, once you retire, you're going to pull 4% out of that account each year, because that 4% will allow you to be able to space that money out over the course of the next 30 years. So one thing that you guys got to ask yourself is, how much money will you need in your retirement in order to live comfortably over a 30-year span? This is why the math is being done. So if you worked at a six-figure job and you have a lifestyle that makes you spend $80,000 a year, you're going to need $2 million in retirement savings. I'm going to put this into perspective for you guys right now so that you can understand this. Right now, my monthly expenses are over $10,000 a month. When you factor in my real estate investments, my business investments, general living expenses, and other things, I'm already spending more than $10,000 per month to live today. And that's for a comfortable life. I need you guys to start thinking into the future on how much life can cost. For someone like myself, I would need more money than this at retirement if I still wanted to live the same lifestyle that I live right now. Now I've got a plan and I'm working through adjustments. I already own over $1 million in real estate alone today. Thank the Lord. But you've got to start to plan according. You got to start planning for tomorrow today. So I just want y'all to see, for all of you guys that are out there that got these retirement goals of traveling the world, spending time with your children, your grandchildren, paying off your children's and grandchildren's college tuition, you need to be focusing on these numbers. If you wanted to live off of $40,000 a year in your retirement, you would need $1 million to do it. Most of us don't want to live off of only $40,000 a year. You will not be traveling the world off of $40,000 a year. You will not be living in your dream house. You will not be doing a lot of the things that you say that you want to do right now at a younger age. So if you want to make sure that you do it, you got to start planning now. Otherwise, once that day comes, it's going to be too late. And guys, one of the most important things that you need to understand about money is that there is a time value of money. Wherever you put your dollar at today, that can benefit you or hurt you for the rest of your life. So you want to be very careful about where your money is going so that it benefits you for years to come. Okay. So again, not going through the whole article. I'm just sharing with you guys the key content. These are all important things that you guys need to know. Okay. So listen, man, I need your commenting. Leave your thoughts. What do y'all think about this? I know for some of y'all are just out there, you're like, Uzziah, I'm taking it all in. I don't know how to feel. I'd have never imagined that I would need over $1 million to retire. I need you to leave me a comment and give me your thoughts, okay? If you have any questions, leave me a comment and let me know. I want to help you guys as much as I can, okay? Now, let's talk about some of the ways that you can successfully retire as soon as possible. In order for you to retire, you need to shift your mindset. I went through this whole exercise just to show you guys the traditional method of retirement is a failure. The traditional model of retirement is a farce. If you don't believe me, look at all of the people in elderly age. Look at how many of them are having to go back to work because all of these financial gurus lied to them. I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step breakdown on how to really retire in real life. The first thing that you need to think about is the reason why this is a failed model, this traditional approach, is because when we talk about, okay, you got to have $1 million to retire, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, that's a failed model because it's teaching you to view your retirement through a lump sum instead of steady cash flow. I don't need to live off of a 401k because I already have other assets that gives me enough cash flow to pay my bills every month. The 401k is an added bonus. The reason why people are looking to the retirement account is because they don't have retire anytime assets. I want you guys to start acquiring retire anytime assets today. What do I mean when I say retire anytime assets? The first thing that you need on the road to retirement is to understand retirement does not come with age. If you want to be one of these people that's 75 years old having to work at Walmart, keep teaching yourself. Oh, I'm supposed to work. I'm supposed to. You're not supposed to do nothing. That's all a myth. This is all programming, guys. Listen, 9 to 5, somebody programmed that in your mind. When God created the world, he didn't create a 9 to 5, but that was invented here in society. Somebody built the construct of a 9 to 5 job from Monday to Friday, and they convinced you that that was the way to live. What I'm telling you guys is all of this wait until your mid-60s to hope to retire garbage, that was part of a construct too. If you have the right money, you can retire now. Don't associate retirement with age. Listen, guys, I retired from corporate America at 26. I didn't wait until I was in my 60s. The reason why so many people struggle is because they're trying to put retirement with age. But what you need instead of a 401k on top of a 401k is a retire anytime asset. You need to own and control streams of income that bring you financial independence as quickly as possible. So, guys, when I talk about my real estate, I'm talking about a retire anytime asset. As long as I own that property, I have access to a passive income stream that can make me thousands of dollars every single month. All I've got to do is take that money and use it to pay my own bills. It's a retire anytime asset. I don't have to wait until I'm 65. I can live off of that money right now. You've got to develop these retirement assets for yourself. I'm just giving y'all the game. Look at this book right here. Look at this book. The reason why I'm speaking about myself, guys, I don't want to talk about myself. This is for you. I'm telling you about how I did it so that way you'll know if I can do it, so can you. Guys, look at this book. For any of you guys that have bought this book or gotten your free copy, you'll know I did not write this book to win a Pulitzer Prize. It's an easy read that gives a few basic steps, okay? Just going to go through these different pages. But this is a retire anytime asset. This is a piece of work that I put together a few years ago, and it is something that will sell for years to come. This is a book that can be sold even after I pass away. You want to create retire anytime assets that will make money for you for generations to come. Let me look at these comments real quick. Dun Dun says it comes down to lifestyle and choices that you make. You can choose to live simple or extravagant. And see, here's the thing. That's an excellent point, Dun Dun. And I'm trying to show you guys you can still live extravagant as long as you plan accordingly. You don't have to live out of a hut to be able to retire, because that's something that a lot of people are doing right now through the financial, what do they call it? FIRE. Financial independence, retire early. Through FIRE, they'll say, hey, uh, make money through the stock market, get dividends off of the shares that you own, and then live off of those dividends and have a really low, modest lifestyle. Some of you guys may not want that. You know, some of you guys, like for example, my brother Shiloh, he don't mind me putting this out there. Shiloh, he would love to be able to live off of $1,000 or $2,000 a month. For me, I can't roll like that. I need to have a different kind of lifestyle. You know, it's really about what you guys want to do, but knowing how to plan yourself accordingly. Yasha Allah said that's true on traditional is working to retire to be poor. I would love it, sir, if you could come on the panel tonight and really show people that what I'm saying isn't false. I want you, if it's possible, sir, it would really be great. I'm gonna put the link to Cam up. I want you to tell the people right now that this traditional model that was told to so many people in your generation, it's failed them. And if there was one bit of advice that I'm sure you would be willing to give, it's don't follow that model thinking that's going to be the keys to success. I don't even want it to come from me. I want it to come from him because I want you to see it through his story. Okay. The link is in the comments below for any of you guys that want to get on the panel. Now is the time to cam up. Okay. So, again, guys, why 2022 is the worst time to retire? We are so financially illiterate. You don't have to go through the traditional model to retire. Instead of worrying about saving up $2 to $3 million, you should be focusing on building retire anytime assets. I don't want to work my butt off to build up all of these millions of dollars in the stock market just so that way when I'm 75, oh man, that's when I can finally enjoy life. No, I want to invest millions for years to come in the stock market while making the most of my life today, while being able to retire today if I want to. Guys, how much better would your life be if you wanted to work and you didn't have to work? How much better would your life be if money wasn't an issue and you could spend your time doing the things that God has called you to do? There's so many of us that's doing things out of necessity rather than doing it out of passion and desire. I want you to create anytime assets because I want you to live out your life's passion. When y'all see me with this book, this is a retire anytime asset. When you guys see me owning this real estate, it is a retire anytime asset. My job is to own and control assets where even if I didn't work, I'm still getting paid. The same thing applies to my YouTube channel. Even when I'm not making videos, I'm still getting paid. And if I can do this, guys, so can you. Y'all know how much free game I give out every show. Like literally all you got to do is ask me, Uzziah, how do you write a book? What's the publishing company? What are the things that I need to talk about? I'm looking to have a retire anytime asset. Uzziah, how do I invest in real estate? How do I set up my online business to where I can have certain passive streams of income where I'm not having to always trade my time for money? The information is right here, guys. And guess what? Here's something important that I want you guys to know. You don't need to have it all down right now when I say retire. One of the wisest ways that you can go about doing this is to retire progressively. What do I mean when I say retire progressively? The reason why people want to retire is because they're looking for three things: financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. You want the money to do what you want when you want. You want the time to be able to do it. And you want to have the mobility to go wherever you want to go. It's possible that you can achieve some of those things right now, even if you don't have a world of cash. So, for example, even though I'm still building my empire, I have time freedom. I can work when I want to work. I have location freedom. I've set up my life in a way to where I can work from Texas, I can work from California, I can work from New York, I can work from London. All I need to do is grab my laptop. If I want to do this show, I can stream anywhere in the world that has an internet connection. You don't need to have everything to retire on some level. Listen, guys, a lot of people don't have any one of the three. That's how this system is built. But what if right now you could have a certain amount of freedom just by saying, well, you know what? I'm still in the job market and that's all good. But maybe I'm going to go for a remote job working from home. Maybe I'm going to, why do you think so many people are getting into these gig type of jobs, doing DoorDash and stuff like that? Because it gives them the time freedom to work when they want to work. I don't want you guys to treat this as a zero-sum game, because there's a level of retirement that you could take in your life right now while still working to greater levels. If you say, you know what, well, I'm just going to rough it until I can retire on everything, that's risky, because you don't know if you're going to live long enough to be able to see all of that accomplished. My prayer for you is that that's the case. But any little win that you can take right now, do it while still becoming the best version of yourself. I still have time and location freedom as I continue to build up my financial freedom. I hope this makes sense. And guys, I'm not telling you don't use a 401k or an IRA. What I'm telling you guys is I need you to think about these investment vehicles as a backup plan rather than a lifeline. You should still be using your 401k. I'm about to talk about that more in just a second. You still need to be getting into these tax deferred retirement accounts. But the way that the traditional model is set up is that so many people are taught, put all of your money into this, put all of your hope into this, put all of your faith into this. And hopefully there will just be enough money sitting in the account by the time that you get to your retirement age that is going to live with you for the rest of your life. And that is so tragic. I don't want to wait until I'm 65 to figure out whether or not I have enough money to sustain myself. When I'm 35, I want to be able to look at my retirement assets and say, Uzziah, if you stopped everything that you're doing right now, are you going to make recurring passive income where you never have to work another day in your life? That's the goal. We work actively so that we can make money passively. We're not always trying to work forever, okay? Unless you are behind something like Warren Buffett is, that you tap dance to work. You're so passionate about what you do. You're so fired up. Life would be miserable for you to not do what you do. Unless you're one of those rare people and you found that kind of calling, then you want to have some kind of retirement plan. You need to have retire anytime assets. You also need to have FU money. Yashala, you got a little bit of time, sir. Okay, I see you need a little bit of time before you hop in. Do your thing, my brother. I'm still going. For those of y'all that are on Tonight, we're talking about why 2022 is the worst time to retire. Even if you weren't planning on retiring this year, this has everything to do with your life. Please make sure that you smash that like button. And guys, please do me a favor. If you've been getting a lot of value out of this content, let's get the donations going, okay? Don't be a tough crowd, y'all. If you've been getting a lot of value and you enjoy this content, please continue to help this show stay on air because nobody else is bringing it to y'all like this, okay? Even if you're watching this after the live stream is over, you can still donate. All you got to do is click the links in the description below. And if you want to use Cash App or PayPal, the information is at the bottom of this video screen, okay? You need FU money. FU money is you having enough money in the bank to tell your boss FU and walk away from that job forever. Most people only build a life around check to check income. We need to change our way of thinking. If you really want to live, you need to think about how much money you really need to live the life that you want and base your goals around that number, not how much money you need to keep the lights on. Some of y'all, you got expenses that add up to $50,000 a year. So you say, let me find a $50,000 a year job. Well, if you live your life that way, you're always going to be stressed. Why? Because you're always going to have to go from one paycheck to the next in order to survive. God forbid you miss any one paycheck because then your whole life crumbles. You want to have enough money that's far beyond what your expenses will be for basic living. You want to think about, if I could close my eyes right now and live the dream today, how much would it cost in the place that I want to live? How much would it cost to eat the food that I want to eat? How much would it cost in order for me to do the things that I want to do to bless other people in my life? You need to write those numbers down, and then you need to average out how much that costs per month. And you need to set income goals over that number. I talk a lot more about this in my 0 to 6 figure program, guys. If you guys really want to know how to be able to design this for your life so you can have retire anytime assets, you need to check out that webinar. I'm going to put the link in the comments once again, okay? I want you guys to check out this webinar so that way you can know how to retire when you want rather than waiting for some random age, okay? Don't go off of the traditional model. It is not in your best interest. You want to do this in a way that works best for you. I don't know about y'all. I want to retire as quickly as possible. I want to enjoy my life, okay? So guys, let's talk about this. Our retirement plan. This is one last thing. This is actually a bonus, okay? As we wrap this up, as a thank you for all of you guys that have stayed on, I'm going to share with you guys a hidden gem that most people are not educated about in order to sustain yourself during retirement, no matter your age. I want to introduce something to you guys called annuities. How many of you guys have heard about annuities before? How many of you guys know what annuities are? This article breaks down 5 reasons that you may need an annuity, and it shows you how an annuity can help you protect and grow your retirement savings. So guys, to give you a basic breakdown of annuities, annuities is an insurance vehicle that makes sure that regardless of how long you live, you have some sort of guaranteed income. Remember everything that we went over with the retirement accounts. Under a traditional retirement account like a Roth IRA or a 401k, You put money into those accounts, but once the money runs out, it's gone. Annuities allow you to make a guaranteed income every year for the rest of your life. That way, you don't have to live out on the street. An annuity can help you protect and grow your retirement savings so that you can do more of what you love in retirement. Here are 5 reasons why an annuity may be a beneficial part of your retirement plan. One, annuities can provide guaranteed, predictable income. Y'all, I know what I'm talking about. I'm giving y'all this game. These days, people are living longer. Among married couples, both age 65, there's a 50% chance of one spouse living to age 92. Now, guys, this is something that really speaks to me personally. Typically, men die before women. And one of the biggest goals that I have in my life is making sure that if I pass away before my wife, I have enough in place to where she does not want for anything. I want to make sure that this is a part of my responsibilities as a husband and a man of God. When you read in the Bible, it says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So we got to understand, how can this be possible? How can we, everyday people, we're not wealthy, we're not rich. How can we, as just everyday people, put ourselves in positions to where, if God forbid something did happen to us, our kids are okay, our spouse is okay, our family is taken care of? Guys, it's possible. These days, people are living longer. Among married couples, both age 65, there's a 50% chance of one spouse living to age 92 and a 25% chance of one spouse living to age 97. This means your retirement could last 20 to 30 years or longer. Well, this also means your money needs to last longer. Traditional retirement strategies may not be enough. So now, just in case y'all thought it was all cap, it ain't just me saying it. I've been telling this to y'all over the past hour, but all of these wealth analysts knows the deal. Guys, why do y'all think so many people are homeless? Why do you think there's so many people in an elderly age having to work by necessity? Nobody ever told them the types of policies they need in order to create wealth and live comfortably. Now we're showing you traditional retirement strategies. Oh, like a 401k, like a Roth IRA, the things that everybody else has told you. Traditional retirement strategies may not be enough. Some of y'all, God forbid, you learn it the hard way. You listen to family members and friends. Oh, yeah, just put it in your 401k and you'll be A-OK. And your grandfather is telling you that that's living off of a pension. You don't even have a pension anymore now. There's an entirely different market than what other generations have had to deal with before. So even though you've diligently saved for retirement and Social Security benefits are available to you, you may want to consider another source of income you can count on, like an annuity. Now, I wonder why they would say something like that. I wonder why they would say something like, hey, even though you've been diligently saving for retirement and you're getting a Social Security check, you may want to consider another source of income that you can count on. Why? Because they know it's not enough. They know if we're living in an economy where right now inflation is at over 8%, gas right now in Central Texas is almost at $4.50 a gallon. If life is that expensive, guys, you might need to be getting money from different places. You might not be able to eat off of just one thing. This is why you need to have it. You can choose when to begin receiving income. See, this is also the good thing about an annuity, because some of you guys are out there saying, well, man, Uzziah, What if I don't need an annuity? You can choose when to activate the income. If you never need it, guess what? You can still leverage it as a form of wealth. You can still leverage it as an asset. This is just for your protection. You can choose, hey, you know what? I think I could get by a little bit longer before my paychecks kick in. And then you can choose when to start getting the money, and you can live off of that money for the rest of your life. They have lifetime policies where you will get paid as long as you're alive, even after your 401k is tapped out, even after your Roth IRA is tapped out, even after your savings account is tapped out. When everything else is tapped out, the annuity can still work for you. With annuities, you can decide when you want to begin receiving income, and most don't even make you decide in advance. Whether you need income today, whether you need income today. See, this is another one. Some of you guys, you only know about the Roth IRA and 401k. But if you need the money right now, you need another vehicle. With an annuity, you can get a policy now and you can start receiving income now if you need it, or sometime in the future. You can determine what's best for you. Annuities can provide stability for your overall portfolio. You know what's so sad to me, y'all? The amount of people that will never get this content, who will grow older, that will put themselves in a really crappy living home, all because nobody ever told them you can still stay where you are and pay the bills. That's really something that saddens me, guys. It really, truly saddens my heart that there will be millions of people in America alone who will get to retirement age not having the right money and will say, oh, well, see, I don't have the money. I guess I'm going to have to go and live with this other person. I guess I'm going to have to live off of Section 8. I guess I'm going to have to live in the slums. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to turn myself into this nursing home, whatever it may be. All because there was nobody in their circle that said, no, you don't have to do that. I heard about something called an annuity where when you need money, the money will start to come from that point for the rest of your life. This so important, man. With most fixed annuities, you can count on getting out what you put in, sometimes even more. This kind of predictability helps balance your other investments that may be more sensitive to market swings. No matter how the stock and bond markets perform, you'll typically receive at least a minimum return from a fixed annuity in your portfolio. What this is saying, guys, is through an annuity, you can invest. But different from other kinds of investments, if there is a crash with stocks and bonds, just because the market crash, it doesn't mean that you lose your money. You're still guaranteed a minimum return. That is something that is extremely powerful. I'm telling y'all this right now. You might take this info for granted, but I guarantee you, I promise you, there are wealthy people in other communities right now buying annuities because they're watching the markets crash and they want to protect themselves at all costs while everyone else is left to suffer. I'm telling you this. I know this. I work in this industry. I see the type of people that are buying these policies, and they're buying them because as we go into a recession, they're saying, hey, I don't want to just depend on the stock market. The stock market go completely under. And if this goes belly up, I need another way to get money. How do I sign up for this policy? But it's a lot of us that out of luck, man. Annuities can make your portfolio more tax efficient. Many investments require you to pay taxes each year on what you earn, so you're not really earning as much annually as you might think. However, with deferred annuities, you only be taxed on the growth whenever you take out money in the future. Once again, you have a tax deferred investment. If you've watched some of my other podcasts, you will know that the best way to build wealth is to lower your taxes. The 1% of the wealthiest people in the world, they figure out where to put their money that lowers their tax burden. So, guys, that's all I'm going to go over on this. Y'all have had a lot of content. We've talked about all the different ways that you give yourself a real retirement, but now it's up to you. I still encourage you getting into your Roth IRA and your 401k. In fact, I definitely think that at a minimum, you should be investing up to the minimum amount of your company match. Okay. But again, do not let that be the end of the road. My goal is to have my 401k, my IRA, my business money, my real estate money, my crypto money, money in different places so that in case of any emergency, I can pull money from different places to protect me and my family. That's the same thing that you should do if you want to create generational wealth. All right, guys. So listen, I got the link out once again to the panel. My brother Yashala is on. How you doing, sir?
Hey, shalom, big brother. Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. What are your thoughts on today's podcast about retirement?
Excellent show. Because I was just, everything you said is true. And I talked to my dad the same thing about the other day about my daughter. And they have this, that mentality is set there. No, work into retirement. No, she should work and get her own business to where she can retire anytime she want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And mentality doesn't change. I never wanted to be that when growing up. That was just me. It was just in me. I just can't. You know what I mean? My lifestyle is different. Like your lifestyle is different. You know what I mean? But you're working just to be poor. And a lot of people don't see that. A lot of times, I love the hood. Don't get me wrong. I want to live there. I used to live in the hood. But I don't want to live there no more. And I always visit the hood. Wherever I go, I'm always going to visit the hood. That's where I came at, from the west side. So you know what I'm saying? But if you go back and just look at the people, just talk to people. That's what I do all the time. I treat people good. I go back, talk, how you doing, what's going on, what can I help, water, whatever. And look, see how they living.
Yeah.
They all work for 20 years, talk to them, 30 years, they barely making it.
Right.
Because you work just to be poor. I mean, the SSI, Social Security, they're trying to raise it. Right now, you can look on any time right now online, the most average person is only getting $800 a month.
Right.
Oh, we are raising to $1,500?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, people, if you still paying rent, it's already gone. The $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
It's already gone. You ain't got no money for your light bill, your water bill, or your car, or your insurance, or your medical. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't see that. You know, they just don't. I started late. Don't get me wrong, because this info wasn't available to me. It never was. Now it is, so I'm taking advantage of it. You know what I mean?
So I got a question for you on that real quick, sir. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I got a quick question for you on that. With all of this access being out there right now, right, on how to retire successfully, how pained do you think that people are in your generation that nobody ever taught them this?
How painful?
Yeah, like when you think about the amount of people that are having to go back into the working world because nobody ever sat them down and said, hey, here's how you have retire anytime assets. Here's how you have an annuity. Here's how you have these different things. There's a lot of people that was just under the impression, hey, you just have to work up until you can afford to retire. And then after that, what, within your age range, how painful do you think it feels for people to now have to go back to work, having never been taught the things that come out now on the internet that a lot of people take for granted?
95%. Very painful. That's what it is. Most of all my friends, most of all of them, health, living conditions, living back with their sister, younger sister. That's just the way it is. Because when our parents grew up, my grandfather's parents, not our mother, my grandparents grew up. See, most of them, you had another show about that. Bought a house when they was young, got married when they was young. So at the time they was 30, 40 years old, their house was paid for. All they bills was done. They didn't overspend. They didn't go out to clubs. They didn't do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So my mother on up, only very few who say, you know what, I'll get married, stay married, and save money. But most of we moved 4 or 5 times. Like you said, jobs 2 years. I did the same thing, got tired, F off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're not buying homes early, we're buying homes late. We like the AJs, we like the, you know what I'm saying, the F1s, you know what I mean? We like all that.
Right.
So we spend. Our spending habit is terrible here in the United States. Terrible. And people not looking at that. When you get older, people, most light bills today is what? $4, $5 a month if you like AC, maybe.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's here. And, and you said, every year it gets higher, higher, and higher. That's just the way it is. Food expenses gets higher and higher, and we're not looking at that. You know what I'm saying? So it's hurting a lot of my friends. Trust me. You know what I mean? I called them today. I went to school with, how you doing? How's your health, man? You know what I mean? I had another guy I knew under me, almost 10 years younger. He just passed away Friday.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
You know what I mean? He just passed away Friday. I got the message to call me Monday, and it's like, whoa, you know. And that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. I ain't know about annuities. I just Googled annuities. I'll have to call you so I can get into it because I never knew about annuities. That's what I said the other day. There's no excuse for this new generation. There's not. You are a machine. You are a mule. I will work you until you drop dead, and I'll get me 2 more mules. That's the way it is, bro. Remember that old show? I don't know if you see it, was an old comedy show when the horse was in the quicksand and the brother in there too. And they threw the rope in there to get the horse out and not him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
Sir.
You are a mule. They think like that. They act like that. That's just the way it is. We can't change that. Not here. You know what I mean?
And see, but I like this mule example because that's the reason why they don't teach people how to really retire.
Right.
This will be the reason why they'll teach them, hey, work until you're 65 plus, and then you can retire. Why? Because that supports the model where they can get as much life out of you as possible. See, y'all don't realize this. Y'all don't realize the way that these corporations are set up. They want your time and your sweat equity for as long as they can get it in your physical prime. They want to suck every last drop out of you. They know the way to retirement. The dude that you work for is probably retired right now. The dude that you work for in most of these corporations, he or she can sit on a beach right now fully retired because somebody else is putting in the work. Why is he or she not trying to retire off of a 401k? Why are you, the worker, being told if you want to retire, get a 401k? But meanwhile, the person that's sipping pina coladas right now in their 30s and 40s, they're not going off of no damn 401k. And it's like, you know, it's hard for me, Brother Yashal. It really is. So please excuse my passion, because I really feel for brothers like yourself who if I were to ask you, if you could do it all over again, how much would you have valued this content? I already know you would have treated it as good as gold.
Oh,
But
yes.
because folks is young and they feel like they got their whole life ahead of them, they're going to be the ones to get hit harder than you, man. And that's the reason why I just try to warn people, and I try to do what I feel that God has called me to do, in just trying to be a vessel or a light and a warner while we can. Things are only going to get more expensive. So now is the time for us to look into these avenues. And for those that are actually looking into setting up an annuity, send me an email. I can sit down with you and we can set up the policy. Okay. I'm going to put my information below. Okay. For those of y'all that want to know how you can do that, send me an email and we can get it done. Yashala, any last words on this? Any bits of advice, thoughts?
Like you said, take it, people. You gotta have action. Just gotta do it. You can study all you want. You can hear others want. You can read all you want. If you ain't putting no action behind it, it's a waste of time.
Right.
It's a waste of time. Like you said earlier, I'm glad you said you 60 something. You still putting the work. I'm still putting the work. I'm driving. I just stopped at this little mini mall real quick. It closed. I can't go shopping, but I won't go shopping anyway to get something to eat. But you know what I mean. But that's just the way it is. I can't waste my money anymore. Right. You know, I had to learn about credit. I took the courses for credit. You know what I'm saying? You can work for 20, 30 years and you apply for a credit card. If you put retired on there, you're not getting anything. I'm telling you, man. They're very funny. Right. They deny you.
Wow.
I'm a contractor. I'm self-employed. I still can't put that there. It's not how the system works. I put that I'm a worker for who I'm with. That's it. Yeah. That's what it's like crazy, but it's the system.
So can I just want to ask you one thing really quick to clarify. So you're saying either you need to still be working at an older age in order to qualify for credit, or you need to have enough money by that age to where you won't need credit at all. It's either one of those, right?
No. You have to know how to work the system, which they don't teach you that. Most people are going to put retired.
Right.
Like you said, know the system. Wait a minute.
There you go. All right, real quick. I see my brother Yashala. He had something that was pressing on him real quick. Listen, y'all, do me a favor. If y'all got a lot of value from this, please make sure that you smash that like button. No super chats as of yet, y'all. Let's tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Any little bit helps. Once again, the information for the Cash App and the PayPal is on the screen. Okay, please donate, y'all. Your support, your donations go a very long way. Yashala, you got to get on to people about that too, sir. All right, I see you back.
Right. Just check. I sent my Cash App, but not the cash, but the donation. It didn't go through. It went through my phone, but I don't know why it didn't go through. Maybe the signal where I was at. I'll check later for that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For the
Thanks, I appreciate it.
But but like you have to get on. You have to donate to learn. You're not gonna learn anything. And like I show people that book, they go, dude, I have to learn this. This is not free. You have to be here. I'm not saying every day, but 3-4 times a week you have to be here. Took my kids to martial arts school. First thing he said, if you are not willing to commit your children to 3 times a week, stay home.
Wow.
It's a waste of time. Stay home.
Wow.
I want your money if you're not going to be here 3 times a week for these 2 children. It's a commitment, not just only to them and me to get them to classes and back. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
That's why my girls never got into a fight. So they never got into a fight. Martial arts. But you know what I'm saying? But to defend themselves, not hurt anybody. But regardless, listen, people. If you get around older folks and talk to them, go to your neighborhood and see your family. You'll see they still working. They still having a hard time pinching. Then you get the phone call, hey, what you doing, cousin? Can you loan me 100? You know you get it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know you get it. You know what I'm saying? And some who treated me good, I had to treat them. They always took care of me. I had to take care of them. That's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the way it is. So, but but you want to make sure that you, because it's gonna get harder. If I show the fuel price I just spent yesterday, people don't believe me. Listen, I'm spending $600-700 a day for fuel.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. You know what I mean? Sir. It's not going to change. The food prices, like I said, you said, it's not going to change, people. It's everything's going to be set in stone after a while. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to get on the game of the income. Like me, I'm trying to work on my business credit. If I can do other things with trucking, you know what I'm saying? I'm 4 days a week now, so I can go ahead, end of the year, I can do 3 days a week, in 2 days, and I'm out. I'm done.
Yes, sir.
It's to free your time. You're correct with that. It's to free your time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things, just being able to buy back your time. Thank you, as always, so much, sir, for your support. I really appreciate you being on this podcast, because we need to be able to see it from our men of wisdom and experience in our community, that, hey, this is not just random knowledge. These are all things that you wish that someone would have told you at a much younger age, to be able to make the most of all of the opportunities that were set forth. And I hope that other people do the same. Thank you so much, sir. Lord willing, we'll see you soon. All right now. All right. So listen, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's podcast. Thank you so much for all of y'all that are on. If you want to grab a copy of my free book, now is the time. All you got to do is click the link in the comments below and grab your copy. Leave your name, your address, where I'm sending it to you, and then the book is yours, okay? The book is the How to Succeed Survival Guide. Let me take my name off the screen, okay? How to create an amazing life without living paycheck to paycheck. Go ahead and click the link in the comments below to grab your free copy. Also, if you guys want to work with me privately on a one-on-one session, click the link in the comments below. I want to meet with you so we can discuss your strategy, okay? If you're going to succeed in this life, guys, you need a strategy. You got to have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And our lives are far too important for us not to plan, okay? For us not to know what we're going to do. Somebody out there is counting on you to put this plan together. And I just want you to think about all the people that could be blessed by you making the right moves. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, Brother Yasha Allah, you said that you attempted to super chat. Hopefully it does eventually go through. Nothing on my end, but for all of you guys that tapped in with me tonight, thank you so much for the support. Listen, y'all, I'll be back on here next Monday, Lord willing. We're going to talk about the job market on Monday, okay? That's going to be very, very, very important. I got some really important content coming out, okay? So make sure that y'all tap in with me. Thank you so much for all of your support. Make sure that you share this podcast with others. If you love your family members and friends and you don't want to see them struggle for their retirement, share this podcast with them. Please be your brother's keeper. Do not leave this channel a secret, okay? There's a lot of people that need to know this information, guys, all right? I'm wishing you guys nothing but the best. And as always, stay focused and most importantly, keep pushing.